What's up, traders? Just one trade today on AA. Let's get to it. There's the bell. Good luck, everybody. We're going to start AA. If it wants to push through 1050, we'll look to get in a little over that. Actually would halt at 1067. Going to get an add there. So our average is now 1055. Might look to take half off if we get down through 1050. Here it comes. We're actually going to take our 75% there. That was a pretty good drop. We'll let the rest play out here. Kind of jumped in probably a little early. Usually we'd wait for that 1050 pop, but everything's kind of lately, just in general, not getting back up to that point. So if this wants to dump down to 1030 for the rest, we'll take it. We'll be happy with it. Put it there at 1031. And there we go. Take our fill. So actually not too upset about taking it off there all at once, not using the pivots. When we get a huge move back down like that, I'm never going to be too upset about it, even though I kind of looks silly at this point, but we'll take it. I don't even understand. I'm literally just now understanding that I broke my rules yet again, but we'll talk to ourselves about that later. I can't be too upset about the trade, but I definitely didn't use the pivots. So there is that. Although it's looking like I made the right decision at the current moment, but we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, like I said, Alex, that was such a big move back down. I mean, it was over 50% of the entire move all at once. So I can't expect this to kind of keep going. I mean, sure it can, but I can't really expect it to make that kind of an intense move down and then just keep continuing, right? Obviously it can, but the odds are very much against it. So if I'm counting on it making an intense move up like this for it to come back down like it did, then there's no way I can expect it to make an intense move the exact same way down and not bounce back the other way, right? You're just going to have an imbalance one way or the other. So you really have to kind of take that into account. That's not saying this isn't going to bounce here, maybe up to like 1050, form a sloppy seconds, and then come back down and start doing the bouncy ball effect. But when you get that big of a move, it's hard not to just take it off there. So I'm not going to be too upset about it. This was kind of an interesting one here. Like if you didn't take yesterday into account, this would have been a pretty decent move on EQT. But I'm not a big fan of playing these inside moves, even though it obviously would have worked out. V took this from Team ISW, so that was kind of why I was looking at it. It's a good intense move up, so you got the intense move back down. But again, we're in between. We're in a range there. I'm not a big fan of playing those. The reason being is because usually you get some kind of continuation to those supply zones, right? So if we got that high of day from yesterday where it started, the odds are you probably are going to try to fill that gap. And then if you get there, sometimes you get a breakout, and if you entered all the way down here, now you're pretty screwed. So that's why, and I've done that in the past, and it's bit me. So that's why I don't do it anymore. You guys hear me say it all the time, I don't play double tops. There is a reason. To me, you're more likely to get a breakout with a double top and play it that way, even if you're extended. And then if it fails the breakout, you just get out on the long side. In any way, shape, or form where going short at a double top is usually very beneficial. Sometimes you're going to get it, but to me, it's a pretty low percentage play, at least in my history of trying them. By the way, I did notice that my mic it's kind of ticking me off because I really like this mic. So if I have to for some reason get a new one, I'm going to be kind of upset. Oh, there goes AOBC through highs. So right there, if we did get in and we didn't take any profits there, we'd be exiting our position right there. Right, that's our strategy. We haven't actually got to show you that yet because it hasn't happened. But on a position where we get in, it consolidates, tries to move higher or lower, and then doesn't, but then moves higher, that's where we exit our position, right? That is basically, it's a technical stop. And we probably would have used 1150 since high of day was 1148. So we would have used the $0.50. But as you can see, it did poke right through there. So we would have got stopped out. Whether it's a fake out breakout, who knows? But what I do know is that we just didn't like the way the price action was. Did you guys hear that? That was a big fart for such a little man. You pooping? Yeah, get it out. That AOBC looked like it was finally breaking. Oh, kinda. It broke down to 1150 but got bought back up. Yeah, preventing. That's what I figured. Isn't it annoying how it seems like every time you have a good trade idea, something like just seems to happen? You get through it though. Bringing back up my trade, however, if I were to use the pivots, it's looking like this did get a pretty big bounce after we clicked off. It went all the way back up to 1055. So our pivot would technically still be there unless this makes a new low. So if it does come down and make a new low here, we would now have a new pivot here at 1040. And our take profit here was at 1031. But this could bouncy ball the rest of the day, right? And we could have ended up with like a take profit down here at 950. So I am very curious at the end of the day to see what happens with this on AA. So right now we would definitely be moving our pivot down to this 1040 area. And we would obviously still be in the trade for that remaining part. We'll see if the rules, breaking the rules helped us here. But I'm going to be mad at myself regardless because I broke the rules. But it was hard not to take that on such a big move back down. But if we would have followed our system, we'll see if the system would have made us more money than if not. The only way it wouldn't have is now if it comes back up and goes through 1040. That's the only way it would not have made us more, because at this point, I would assume any kind of a bounce is going to be a little bit lower than that, and then it would have been around the same take profit or if not lower. So we'll see. So there is low of day there, so we would definitely be moving it down at this point. And like Alex or Tom, I think it was Thomas that actually said it about using like when does profit per hour kind of come into play and stuff like that, where I was off looking for other trades where from 9:38 until now, so coming up on an hour, is how long we would have had to wait for this to make a new low here, just to move our pivot down to where we still wouldn't have taken profit if it does come back up and test that area from where we actually did take profit. So there's always that to think about too, but the whole point of the pivots is to sit there and play and try to make the maximum out of your position. Because if we can hit tops like this, it's kind of hard not to try to let it play out. Every once in a while, yes, you are going to fall into the ones that bounce like this, and then they just go straight to high day and continue the rest of the day. So what, right? The ones like yesterday on CROX, was it? No, not CROX. What was our trade yesterday? PAGS, PAGS. So the ones like PAGS yesterday, all it takes is one or two that really go down and give you the bouncy ball effect and fade the rest of the day to make up for, one or two that come back up to high day and stop you out. Because look how much you're risking there. You're not risking that much for it to go back high of day from that bounce, right? Our average is up in the middle here. So we're not really risking that much on 25% of your position, but you're looking for that same average up here at 1055, I think it was 1055, for this to go down into say like 950 area, right? So you're making $1 versus losing 20 cents. So you're looking to make say like 5 to 1 on your money, where if that happens just one out of 5 times, if that happens, you're good to go for the next 5 times, right? That's how you have to look at it. All right, traders, that was my trade on AA. Obviously, I broke my rules. Obviously, I would love to go back and trade the pivots because they are looking pretty good right about now. But we didn't, so we're going to move on to tomorrow. Like and subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. Always appreciate that support. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace.